everybody, and welcome to session number 2 today, in which I am going to be answering your questions and explaining what's going on with not only the sales, but the different sites that I have. So let's just go through this real quickly. If you joined me earlier today, you know we've already been through some of this stuff. So like I say, we're all friends here. We're all supportive of one another. And that's what you will find at the JAZZEDGE community and my whole community of sites. You could chat in your questions on YouTube. If you have any questions, now would be the time to do that. I will be on again live on Wednesday. I will be sending out a link for that as well. So if you're on my email list, just go ahead and look for that email. If you're not on my email list, then if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, then you should get a notification when I'm going to go live. Everything is being recorded, so if you want to come back to this later, you can just go right back to my channel, and you should be able to see this video in the live videos. So why do I have so many piano learning sites? Well, like I explained earlier on today, like I said, right now I'm going to just kind of blast through this a little bit quicker for you. Like I said earlier on today, I have so many learning sites because, well, quite frankly, there's different students that are at different levels and different price points. So that's why I have a lot of different sites. Certain sites work for certain students, while other sites are better for other students. So let's go through these different sites. Jazz Piano Daily, you could read right here. It's great for beginners. These are bite-sized lessons, teach you a variety of different topics. I'll show you in just a second where you could see all the list of lessons for this site. There's 365 lessons in total, which will be completed come this summer. After the 365, I may add some bonus material to it, but I'm not going to be adding much more to Jazz Piano Daily. How come, Willie? Well, because at that point, then you should move into either my Jazz Piano Lessons program or my JAZZEDGE program. There's really no sense in adding more to Jazz Piano Daily when I have these other programs that would be a better fit for you. The sheet music and resources are included, of course, on all of my sites, but this material is only found at Jazz Piano Daily. You do not find this material on my JAZZEDGE site, Jazz Piano Lesson site, or any of my other sites. You can lock in right now for $7.49 a month. After this sale ends on Wednesday at 1 p.m., the price goes back up to $14.95 a month. If you lock in your rate, that rate is locked in for as long as you have your membership. So if you cancel your membership, you want to come back, well, then you just pay whatever the membership rate is then. If you decide, I'm not going to order during this sale, I'll order a month from now and write in asking for the Black Friday pricing, it won't be available, right? So after Wednesday, December 1st at 1 p.m. Eastern, these sales are ended, and we might do another holiday sale, but I don't know if this price point is going to be coming back for our holiday sale. We haven't worked that out yet. But I would not, I will tell you this, it's not going to go lower than this, and there's probably a 50-50 chance that this will come back in December. After the holiday sale, then forget it. It's most definitely gone. But like I said, I would not count on this price point coming back in December if you decide to wait. Jazz Piano Lessons. Jazz Piano Lessons, great for anyone who's looking for a step-by-step plan. It is an extremely structured program, 3 levels, literally just follow the program, follow the plan. You're going to learn how to improvise, you're going to learn songs, you're going to learn different accompaniment patterns. Again, I'll show you in a second where you could see that lesson list. There's 75 hours of lessons. No new material will be added because once you're done with Jazz Piano Lessons, then you move to JAZZEDGE, right? Sheet music material is also found at JAZZEDGE. So if you're a JAZZEDGE member, this material is already on the JAZZEDGE site. However, it is presented very differently from the JAZZEDGE site versus Jazz Piano Daily. Jazz Piano Daily is set up into 3 levels that you just go step by step, right? Whereas in JAZZEDGE, you see it as part of my JAZZEDGE core, but you can just drill down into each one of my courses and see all of those lessons. So they're not, it's not designed on JAZZEDGE to be do this, then do this, then do this. But the good news is if you're a JAZZEDGE member, you can add on Jazz Piano Lessons for a one-time fee to your JAZZEDGE account. You're never billed for it again. And as long as you have your JAZZEDGE account active, then you will keep Jazz Piano Lessons. If you sign up for JAZZEDGE, add on Jazz Piano Lessons, but then cancel your JAZZEDGE membership, well then 2 weeks after that, your jazz piano lessons access will go away. All right. So, and we will let you know, hey, look, you get 2 weeks before your access goes away. Right now, you can lock it in for $9.95 a month. That's a 50% savings every single month. After the sale is done, it goes up to $19.95. Homeschool piano is the place to go if you're an absolute beginner. If you've never played piano before, then homeschool piano is the place to go. It's great for individuals. It's great for families. There's 3 levels, 18 units. Takes most students roughly between 1.5 to 3 years to go through the program, but it is a great feeder program into my jazz piano lessons program or into my larger Jazz Edge program. Homeschool piano is one of the 2 sites that gets access to coaching. So Homeschool Piano and Jazz Edge students both enjoy weekly coaching, right? And that's with a live teacher, right? I'm doing it right now, right? So you can study with me, at least for right now, every single week, right? So like I say, it's great for individuals or families. You can get an individual plan for as low as $119 per year. After that, excuse me, it goes to $150 per year. I'll explain more of where you can see all of that. Jazz Edge, this is my main site. It's constantly being updated with new material. There's 850 hours of content on there right now, and it grows every single week. It's great for beginner or advanced students, but it's for the serious learner. And by that, I mean, if you're not willing to practice, right, or if you need that step-by-step approach, if you're confused or sidetracked by the next shiny object, Willie put up a new lesson, I was working on this, but now I'm going to go focus on this new thing, then that's probably not the site for you, all right? It's a big site, it's a library, it has a lot of structure to it, but it requires you to have a little bit more skin in the game, all right? In that you really have to stay on track with what it is that you're learning. Every week you can come to coaching, right? So you can get feedback on your playing, you could get practice suggestions, you could get suggestions on how to make a plan for your practice. So it's a great program for any of those students who look at the piano and say, you know what, I've been doing this for years and I am still not where I want to be. So if you're not where you want to be, then Jazz Edge is most definitely the place to be. Now, I know that, there's many other piano sites online, right? So, and I'm not going to go into my pedigree right now. You can go to my site and read about me. I went to Berkeley, I've toured, I've recorded numerous albums, I've gigged, I've played South by Southwest Festival. My sites have won awards, all right? So you can read all of that and you can hear my playing. Enough of my teaching and enough of my playing is online, so you can kind of hear what I sound like and you can kind of see how I teach. All right, so when you make the decision as to okay, do I want to study with Willie or do I want to study with another teacher? I guess I would say this. I've been doing this a long time. I really focus on curriculum, pedagogy, and teaching. My one job is to help you get better at the piano. That's my only job. I write a lot of music, all right? There are literally pages and pages of music in the Jazz Edge site. And I take this very seriously. This is what I do every day. I come into my office every day for all of you, all right, and for all of my students. All styles are included in Jazz Edge. It's gospel, Latin, funk, rock, jazz, blues, classical, slow blues, jazz blues, boogie blues, licks, improvisation, composition, reharmonization, tritones. All of that stuff is included in the Jazz Edge site. Like I said, it really is like a library. Right now, you can get many different specials. After the specials are done, it goes up to $49 a month or $396 a year after the sale is done. So, do your programs work on tablets and phones? Someone asked this in the previous session, and I have an old tablet here. Okay, this is an old iPad Air. All right. In fact, I can tell you that this is a iPad Air 2. Right, and this is running software version 14.7. Right now, I will tell you this: as you get into tablets that are older and you don't update the software, well, you know what? There comes a time in which if your tablet is many years old, well, then it might not work anymore. So here's the site. All right. In fact, let me move over to this. Okay, you can see here's the site. I can play the video, and then See how that's looping, all right? So I have a loop mode on here. I can easily loop right in here. I can also change the speed of this, right? Gems as well. All right, so anyway. So you can hear, now I sound pretty slow here, right? But this is great, especially for when I'm playing, because double flat 7 for B. Okay. So you can see that it's very easy for you to be able to see everything. A lot of the newer lessons have the sheet music embedded right here. It's kind of hard to see, but you can kind of see if I show it to you maybe at this angle. All right. So works perfectly on a tablet. And then on an iPad, I can go to the share thing and I can add to home screen, okay, and then add, and then now you'll see I have this little JAZZEDGE logo right over there, okay, and if I press on this, it's going to load up the JAZZEDGE site, okay, so there we go. So it works great on tablets, works on phones as well, works really well on phones. However, obviously a phone is kind of a small screen, so you know it's you're going to have to make that decision if you want a bigger screen or not. But if you have a tablet is definitely the way to go. Some students, you know, have monitors and computers and laptops. You figure out the setup that works best for you, but the JAZZEDGE site works on any internet-enabled device. Some students were also asking about the merch, right? So if you're interested in some merch like this, you can go over to, whoops, let me get rid of this, and let me get rid of this. You can go right on over to store.jazzedge.com. You can see we have all of this different merchandise available, right, with our new design and everything, tote bags, t-shirts. This is the old design, okay, so you can take a look at that. If you're interested, again, that URL is store.jazzedge.com, store.jazzedge.com. All right, so let's move on to your questions. And while I'm waiting for any of your questions to come in, and it might not actually be any questions today, let me just show you, this is the sales page, so let me tell you where that is. So right here, blackfridaypiano.com, there should be a link in the description as well. Something important to note, once again, is that the sale ends on December 1st. No exceptions. Okay, so if you don't want to purchase anything now, like, look, I don't pressure anybody into buying any of my stuff. But I just want to let you know, if you decide to wait, well, it's going to be whatever the retail price is. You know, sale. This is the sale week. Once the sale ends, then it goes back to the regular price. It's also important to note that if you get any recurring membership, which pretty much all of my memberships are recurring memberships unless you get the 2-year JAZZEDGE membership. So any of my monthly or yearly memberships, they are recurring memberships, and it just means it continues to bill until you cancel. You can cancel super easy within your account. But what I wanted to say is if you get any of those recurring memberships and you get a sale price, that sale price sticks each and every month. Right? I got a promotion actually today from one of the piano sites that I follow, and it's like, you know, you get a certain percentage off, but it's off your first month, and it's like 20 or 30%. It's like, big deal. I'm going to give you $10 a month off. That's more than 20% off of the JAZZEDGE membership every single month, but it's only available right now. All right, so now where you find that, Black Friday Piano, all right, and you can see here that there are, so there's a bunch of different specials on this page, okay? So let me just kind of go through them real quickly with you. So you can get a 2-year membership to JAZZEDGE. If you do that, that's also coming with 10 free download credits. We added that as a Cyber Monday special. But if you already ordered in the past, like in the past couple of days during Black Friday, we also gave you those 10 download credits, right? There are only 50 slots available for that, and that does not count the people who have already ordered. This just counts people who have ordered today, and I have not refreshed this page, so let me refresh it, and this is alive. Okay, so now there's 25, right? So, so now people have already ordered from the first session to this session. So if you're interested in getting these 10 download credits and be able to download the lessons and own them, well, then you want to check this out. There's also a 3-pay option, so you can break this up into 3 payments. There's a bunch of great frequently asked questions right here, so just go ahead and take a look at this. It talks about the refund policy, talks about what happens at the end of 2 years. You know, if you already have a membership, can you purchase this upgrade? Which the answer is yes. So, but all of that is right there. If you want to see what's inside of JAZZEDGE, you can go right here and you can click on this video. We have these different options for JAZZEDGE specials. It tells you how much you're going to save, okay? And some more FAQs. By the way, if you need help, you click on I need help, right? You can kind of search through here and this kind of gives you some other FAQs. But if you click on contact us, and you put in all of your information here, I see these emails, okay? These emails come to me, and it's either me or Jamie who are answering these tickets, right? So before you think that, oh, Willie's just some guy who lives on a boat someplace, well, in a way I wish that were true, but it's not true, right? I'm in here every day working for all of you, and that means that I am the one who is answering these tickets. And that's good for you because I'm the guy. I know this program inside and out. I programmed all of this website, so if there is an issue, I can fix it immediately and quickly for you. So that's another benefit that you get with being a part of JAZZEDGE is that when you're a part of JAZZEDGE, you still get access to me. Even if you're on one of those sites like Jazz Piano Daily or Jazz Piano Lessons that don't have coaching, I am still available via email. Now, granted, I don't answer music-related questions over email because they're so much better to answer while at the piano. But we are always here for you, and we're always here to help you and point you in the right direction. Homeschool piano, a couple of different specials. If you're an individual, then I would go with this. If you have a family, then you could get up to 5 students, and that's 3 years of access for 5 students for $468. You end up saving over $700 bucks. Right? It's a huge savings if you're interested in homeschool piano. The other thing you should know about homeschool piano is, let's say you have grandkids or you have someone else in your family that you would like to learn piano, you can easily set up their own account so they have their own login and they can get in and they can track their own progress, they can do their quizzes, and it doesn't affect anyone else's account. So it's a great way for families, the entire family, to be able to learn. At $468 for a family of 5 to be able to learn for 3 years, which, by the way, at the end of 3 years, you should be able to know everything in homeschool piano, is really cool. And then you'll be able to end up playing songs like the one of the... like stuff of that complexity. There was a song that I wrote, and I forget it right now. I'd have to take a look at it again. But let's see if I can... I forget where I went with that. That's it. All right, so that's kind of the song. Anyway, that's one of the songs you'll learn at Homeschool Piano. It's called Finally Summer. And if you go back to homeschoolpiano.com and you just go to the website, you could hear some different examples of what the music sounds like. But I just want to remind you, do not order any of the memberships at the sites. The place to get the memberships and all the specials is Black Friday Piano. Right, so all the specials have been just put right here on this page. If you go to some of my other sites, you're going to still see the retail pricing. Right, so just make sure you go back to Black Friday Piano, which is this page right here in front of you. Jazz Piano Daily, right? Here are the 2 different options. Again, you can take a look at the video here and see what's inside. If you click on View Lesson List, you can scroll down here and see all of the lessons that are available on Jazz Piano Daily. Right, a great, an incredible price point. I mean, $7.49, and then you'll have access to 365 lessons. It is really, really a nice resource. Jazz Piano Lessons, same thing. If you're looking for that step-by-step for $10 a month, it just can't be beat. You click on View Lessons, you can see all the lessons that are included. You can see that you have Confident Improviser up to number 25. You have all the piano essentials. You have Standards by the Dozen up to number 8. You end up learning New York State of Mind, Green Dolphin Street, Funny Valentine, All the Things You Are, The Way You Look Tonight, Misty, Autumn Leaves, and The Days of Wine and Roses. My Piano Essentials teaches you all of your technique, right? So you'll go through and you'll know all 12 major scales, you'll know all of your chords, you'll know all of your triads. All of it is laid out in Piano Essentials with fingering, with music, and again, extremely step-by-step for you, right? So again, just take a look at that video and it kind of dives into what it looks like and you can see it a little bit better. Confident Improviser, if you're interested in getting the downloads for Confident Improviser, they're right here. If you don't know what the Confident Improviser program is, you can read more about it here. But basically, if you want to learn improvisation, this is the program that you want, right? So I'm not going to say any more than that. Go and take a look. The Confident Improviser, this is the program to teach you improvisation. If you've never improvised before, I guarantee you get this program, you're going to be improvising. The Piano Lesson Store, we have a 60% off savings right now. You can just visit the store. And then this Black Friday training that I just did this weekend, which was, it was over 2 hours of training every single day. So it ended up being like 5 to 6 hours of training with music, examples, step by step. It's $25. So if you're interested in getting that, I talk about how to create a 15-minute practice plan, but we really talk about practice and the different approaches to practice and how to really get the most out of your practice. I also show you how to make a library of blues licks. You end up learning 11 blues licks. You see me write them out. I explain why I'm doing it. Again, all the sheet music is there and available. And then what was the third one? Oh yeah, how to learn songs by ear. So I end up going through like, I don't know, like about 10 songs. I break them down, show you how to learn them by ear. I show you how I learn them. Again, resources available for that as well. We talk about diatonic chords and about chord progressions and chord analysis. I mean, there's a lot of material there. I had originally said I was going to be putting this up to the retail price, which is $50 today, but I'm going to just let it stay with the sale until Wednesday, right? So if you're interested in this, you have until Wednesday to get that. You should also know that if you get that Black Friday weekend training series, I also gave some extra deep discounts, and I'll actually even tell you what those deep discounts were. You can get Jazz Piano Daily for $5.99 a month or a lifetime for $199. All right, so that's if you purchase that Black Friday weekend training series, which is right down there. Okay, if you purchase this here, then you can then go into your account and get an even bigger discount on Jazz Piano Daily if you're interested. All right, so that's it. So let's move over to your questions, see if we got any questions. Hey Jeff, how you doing? Ted, R. Bartolo, how you doing? So Ted, thanks for your practice session on Friday. I was considering jazz piano lessons, but since you provided the link, I think I could just manage the courses in JAZZEDGE. Thoughts on Jazz Piano Daily? Well, if you decide to go for a JAZZEDGE membership, then don't order Jazz Piano Daily until you get the Jazz Piano membership, because JAZZEDGE members actually get an even better discount on Jazz Piano Daily, all right? The discount is the $5.99, right? So $5.99 per month. So I would say if you get a JAZZEDGE membership, then to add on that or to buy that Jazz Piano Daily membership for $5.99 a month, I would say definitely take a look at it, without a doubt. If you have any questions on it, right, you still have until Wednesday. If you go back to jazzpianodaily.com, right, in fact, I'll show you this just real quick so you can see it. All right, so if I go to Jazz Piano Daily, what you'll see right on the homepage here is 45-day free trial. So you can put in your name and email address there, and then it's going to get you in, and you're going to be able to see the first 45 days of lessons. And when I say see the first 45 days of lessons, I mean all of it. So here's my test account. Let me show you this real quick. This, you can get into this first 45 days, right? You can see all the lessons here, and then you can click on materials, and then you can download all of the sheet music for the first 45 days, right? Absolutely free. Now, this is going to be free even after the sale is done, but if you want to add on that for $5.99, you might want to take a look at that first, all right? So that's just going back to jazzpianodaily.com, and you can put in your name and email address right there. To get that free trial, again, you just go to, let me show you just one more time because I know I'm moving quick. I'm going to get home for dinner, all right? So jazzpianodaily.com, and then just click on 45-day free trial, fill in that information, and you get access to the first 45 days for free. Would JPD be too confusing to someone restarting their piano journey? Well, Jazz Piano Daily, I will tell you this, is not going to be the same step-by-step program as Jazz Piano Lessons. So if you're just getting started and you want kind of like that step-by-step approach, then I would go with Jazz Piano Lessons. And honestly, at less than $10 a month, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. You get access to 75 hours of material. You're going to be working on that material for a while. So at $10 a month, it's a great price point in which it's not going to break the bank, and you're going to constantly have stuff there that you can learn. Now, I will say, if you decide to go with a JAZZEDGE membership, right? Then you can add on Jazz Piano Daily for a one-time fee. I'm sorry, you could add on Jazz Piano Lessons for a one-time fee of $25, right? There is no add-on for Jazz Piano Daily, just for Jazz Piano Lessons, right? And that's because Jazz Piano Lessons works really well with JAZZEDGE since that material is already found at JAZZEDGE. But JazzPianoLessons.com has just kind of a better way of organizing that material for your success, all right? But again, that's optional. You can decide to do that or not. But if you are not deciding to do a JAZZEDGE membership, then I would say Jazz Piano Daily or JazzPianoLessons.com would be a great fit for you. But if you're kind of getting started and you want more of that step-by-step and you want to plan, without question, JazzPianoLessons.com is the place to go, right? Especially if you've had some experience. Now, like I said earlier, if you're an absolute beginner and you want that plan, then go with Homeschool Piano. But you're not an absolute beginner, so I would suggest JazzPianoLessons.com. And Bartolo, Willie, where does No Bowl Jazz fit into the program you were discussing? Oh, thank you for bringing that up. All right, so No Bowl Piano is a program that I released 2 years ago now, and it is no longer available for sale. All right, so it's one of those things where if you've got it, you can keep it. You can keep it for as long as you want. No Bowl Piano, it's a recurring charge. So if you sign up for the yearly, well, then you'll be billed every year. If you sign up for the monthly, well, then you're billed every month. You could think of No Bowl Piano as JAZZEDGE Lite. All right, so it was originally conceived to kind of give you a little bit more of that streamlined approach, but then also give you a lower price point. And the reality is, I found that by having students at the JAZZEDGE site and seeing the JAZZEDGE material and not knowing which material, do I have access to and stuff, it's there. You can see the material that you have access to, but it's just a little bit more challenging since it's mixed in with the JAZZEDGE material as well. So in that regard, that's why I did Jazz Piano Lessons, right? So No Bowl Piano and JazzPianoLessons.com are very similar. However, there are some lessons that are in No Bowl Piano that cannot be found in Jazz Piano Lessons, and there's some lessons in Jazz Piano Lessons that cannot be found in No Bowl Piano. So basically it's this. If you have a No Bowl Piano account and you've been happy with that account and you've been able to log in and do everything that you want to do, I wouldn't do anything, right? Because if you cancel that No Bowl Piano account, you can't get that back, right? In fact, it's not even in the system anymore. So as soon as someone cancels it, we can't even add it back to your account, right? So just bear that in mind. Rico, can I ask a music theory question? Please, absolutely do. All right, and if anyone else has any questions, please write them in right now, because as soon as there's no more questions, I'm going to give you a going once, twice, 3 times, and then we are going to finish up. So now is the time that you can ask any of your questions. And while I'm waiting for Rico's question, just remember, go back to blackfridaypiano.com if you are interested in learning more about the specials. Okay, do not go to the individual sites. All right, even though I have some messages on there, but it's real easy for people to miss that. Like for instance, I will show you. If we go back to JazzEdge.com while I'm waiting for Rico's question to come in, you'll see here if you scroll down to the pricing, right? You see the Black Friday specials. You got to click there, but you'll see $49 a month. So this, all I'm going to do after the special is done is I'm going to take away this right here, and that's it. Right, so the Black Friday specials will be done, and then it will go back to this retail pricing, right? I purposely left this here because I want you to see that it's no joke. Like this isn't like, you know, we play around with the pricing, we're going to inflate it, you know, afterwards. No, it's $49 a month. So if you're interested, just make sure that you take a look at the sales before this timer ends. I also can't stress that enough. That is the only fine print, right? That if you don't get in before the sale is done, well, the sale is done, right? All right, so Rico, I'm stuck on the rules to build chordals for the various types of chords. For example, Days of Wine and Roses comping. First measure, you build a chordal on the 6th, and then a chordal built on the 3rd, then there's a major triad. All right, I got just a lesson for you, all right? So what you want to do is go into your dashboard at JAZZEDGE, okay? Do a search, and then what you want to do is do a search for piano chords, okay? And I'm going to be updating the look and feel of this search. I'm not happy with the way this is, so I'm going to be fixing this. But this right here, I'm pretty sure it was either this one or this one. Let's take a look at both of them. This is Piano Chords Volume 3. Okay. Take a look at the sheet music. I mean, you can see here in the sheet music, it's telling you how to form all of these voicings. Whole bunch of sheet music here. And I'm pretty sure I talked about it right down in here. This is all your common tensions, different examples. I even went through and showed you all of your chords in a visual. That's not what I was looking for, though. No, it wasn't in this one either. All right, hold on a second. It might be in one of my other lessons. I thought it was in this one. This is what happens when you do so many lessons. I start to forget which ones are in where. There we go. It's right here. Advanced chordal chords and comping. All right, so you take a look at that lesson. Whoops, wasn't that one? Here we go. Yeah, there you go. So here's all of these chords and an explanation of how to utilize these different chordal chords. All right. Basically, to also help answer your question is that when you're playing different types of chord qualities, right, I'm just going to do this quick on like a C major 7 here. Right, so if I take a C major 7, I could build a chordal easily enough on the 9th. I always think from the bottom up, so build on the 9th, on the 3rd, on the 6th. Okay, can't really do it on the 5th, right, because you have notes here that are not part of that. I could also do something like this on the sharp 11. And you see how I can utilize 2 chordals? I have a chordal built on the 3rd. I have one built on the sharp 11. Listen to that sound. Hit root 5. So you can like start to do these side steps and side slips. Right? If I have a dominant chord, I could do, well, actually let's do minor instead. If I have a minor chord, then I can do chordal built on the root, on the 9, on the 11th, on the 5th. The 6th even works as well. Right? Kind of a cool sound. I like that. But and if I have a dominant chord, I could build a chordal just about on any note except for the major 7th. So. And then what I want to remember is when I build that chordal, like if I do something like this, I want to be careful about like, okay, if I'm going to hit the 9 here in the left hand, well, don't hit flat 9 up there. So that's where utilizing those guide tones and then utilizing chordals are really nice. I should also say you don't build a chordal on the dominant chord if any of the notes of the chordal has that B natural in it. So obviously not on the F, not on the B, okay? That's not going to work. So if the if the B is in the chordal, well, it's not going to sound good. Although, to be honest with you, I kind of like the sound of that. I kind of dig that sound in a way, but anyway. Typically on dominance, it's on the 9, on the 3, on the 13 as well. Those work really well. So anyway, there's plenty there to get you going, all right? I wasn't planning on doing a little mini lesson, but there you go, all right? Those chords are really, really hip. And if you could start to get those in your playing, Rico, you're playing, it just sounds like light years. It sounds really cool. Jeffrey, how you doing? I know a sax player who wants to play some jazz tunes together. I'm comfortable playing left-hand shells and right-hand voicings from a fake book. Okay, is there anything more to this? I don't see anything more to this. All right. Okay, so I assume you're probably writing some more. I'm going to wait for the rest of that question. But if you're looking for other stuff that you could do with the left hand, well, you can also do the rootless chords in the left hand and do the chordals in the right hand. I've been going through standards by the dozen. This is also Jeffrey speaking here. Going through standards by the dozen, working on bass lines, though I haven't had a chance to review tunes once I finish them, okay? I want to cultivate the ability to read tunes from a fake book accompanying the soloist, play the head, and take a solo every now and again. What should I be working on to prepare to play with the sax player? All right, so great question, Jeffrey. All right, so when the first question you're going to have to answer is, are you going to be playing in a group setting or in a solo piano setting? And basically what I mean by that is, and you don't have to bother to answer this because I'm going to answer both, all right? What I mean by that is a group setting means that a bass player or somebody is going to be taking care of the bass notes, all right? So that's really what I mean by group setting. And I say group setting because typically that means like you're working with a piano trio with bass and drums or something like that, all right? If you're going to do that, right, then what you would want to be doing is doing rootless chords in the left hand, without a question, right? So if you have a bass player playing, then you're going to want to be doing rootless chords in the left hand. You could do shells as well, right? So if you find, I've explained this several times in the lessons, if you find that you come across a chord, in the spur of the moment that you just don't know what it is, you should at least be able to get a root 3/7 or a root 7 chord shell on that chord, probably faster than the rootless chord voicing, all right? So as you're trying to build up this library of rootless chords, if you can't get to the rootless chord fast enough, you could always throw in a shell. So let me just show you. Well, here, I got this up in front of me. So here's just a simple 12-bar blues. So let's actually cook this along. Let's put this at 220, right? So let's say that, all right, I know that, but F. I don't know this one. Came from the cold. I need to warm up. All right, so you can see that it's moving along quickly, and forgive me, I sometimes just enjoy playing, so I end up playing a little bit. You can see it's moving along quickly, so I could get to the rootless chord for the C, but when I got to the F and the G, I had a brain freeze, so at that point I can just do shells. So again, the point is when working with a bass player, right, or if you're going to be playing with like a bass track like this. So there's nothing to say that you can't be doing bass and drums with the sax player coming over, right? So you just put it through your speakers and use iRail Pro and then pretend you have a band there. But anyway, if you're working with a bass player, you could play your rootless chords, you could do your shells. Obviously, stay away from playing bass lines unless you work out that bass line with the bass player. That's a little bit more of an advanced technique, right? So that's typically what you do. When playing those shells, you can also add in some of your chordals, you can add in some of your upper structure triads, okay? I said when playing those shells. When playing those rootless chords, you can also add on some of that other stuff. You can do your guide tones in the left hand along with upper structured triads. You could do chordal voicings in the right hand, in the right and left hand as well, like, you know, so you can do interesting stuff like that. But those are the things that you would do when playing in a group, i.e. bass player is playing the root of the chord setting. All right, so now if you're playing solo piano, now it gets a little bit different, and in some ways a little bit more difficult. What's great is I love solo piano, and when I say solo piano, again, let me just make sure that we're on the same page. What I'm saying is that there's no bass player, right? I'm not saying that you're playing solo by yourself. I mean that you need to cover all of it, and then maybe someone else is playing along with, or you're accompanying them while singing. It really doesn't change all that much with solo piano. The only thing that would change between legit solo piano and you working with another instrument or a vocalist is whether or not you're going to play the melody. And at that point, you're going to have a discussion of like, you going to play the melody or am I going to play the melody? If you're playing the whole thing and the melody, you're really kind of doing solo piano at that point. Anyway, so when in that more solo piano, you need to do it all situation, I like it because I have complete control. So then if we're going to do a blues, I mean, I could really go in and I could change it all over the place. I have complete control over the harmony. So for you control freaks out there, solo piano is great because you could do whatever you want. Now, obviously, you want to support whoever you're working with, right? Unless you're playing just legit solo, you know. You want to support who you're playing along with. But what I'm saying is that you have control over the harmony and the direction of the harmony. Again, you want to support. So you don't want to try and mess them up by doing something silly down here. But it just means that, you know, you could change the progression around. You could do pedal tones. And then get into your bass line. Sounds really cool. All right, so that's one thing you could do, bass lines. You can also start to do... All right, so you see I could do like kind of like this root stomp kind of stride feel that we've talked about in Standards by the Dozen. Obviously, that's going to take a little bit more practice to be able to do that kind of stuff. If you're going to do that with a sax player coming over, I'd say start with something like the blues. Blues is, I've said many times before, is the great equalizer, right? You can all, like everybody should know a blues, right? If you're going to call yourself a musician and you're going to say, I'm an improvising musician, if you don't know the blues, I'd be like, huh? How do you not know the blues and you're calling yourself an improviser, right? Learning to improvise, it's like blues 101. All right, so anyway, starting with a blues is always a good thing to do. Now, when you start doing ballads and stuff, you could do like, you know. So you see, I can like kind of arpeggiate those chords down there, get a little bit more of a free flow. So if, you know, I had a singer and they're singing, you know, Over the Rainbow. I love Over the Rainbow. So, all right, so I'm going to kind of try and sing this for you. I'm not a singer. So, over the rainbow, I forget the words that come next, but I'm not a singer, it's okay. All right, so you see what I'm doing down here? It's also a terrible key for me to sing in. But you could see that I'm doing like my shells along with like rootless voicings. So I can do those shells along with the rootless voicings in the right hand, or filling in those voicings in the right hand. You also hear that I'm doing some of those fills in there, which again, you know, if you're going through standards by the dozen, we've talked about all of that stuff at various moments and also in the gem sessions as well, right? So that's what you're going to want to get down for working with if you have the sax player coming over and you are playing without any backing track or any bass player. So to summarize that and make it a little bit easier and give you a little bit of a punch list or a checklist for that, number one, make sure you know your darn shells, okay? Please make sure you know those. Get some bass lines together, or if you're going to be doing a song, get the bass line together along with the rootless chord in the right hand. So, oh yeah, geez, I don't even know why I'm saying somewhere. The days of wine and roses, right? Ba bum 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 bum, yeah bum 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 bum. You see how I'm playing the bass line in the left hand, I'm playing the rootless chords in the right hand, right? That works perfectly. Now when you solo, so you can hear that there I'm playing the bass line and I'm improvising over the top of that. Now, do you have to do that when you solo? No. So you can do stuff like that in which I'm playing the shells. Every now and again, I'll throw in a rootless chord voicing. But you can see that the challenge there is kind of keeping that groove moving forward and the rhythm and the tempo. Well, I shouldn't say the tempo. You don't want the tempo to move forward. But you keep that, it's the momentum. That's the word I'm looking for. The momentum is always moving forward. So anyway, that should give you some stuff to, to get you going, Jeffrey. But like I said, start with the blues, all right? That would be a great thing, to have under your belt, all right? Definitely make sure you have a blues, because if everything else falls apart, you can always say, hey, look, why don't we just do a blues, right? And then, play a blues, and makes everything okay. All right, Keith, I joined the session after it started. What is the difference between monthly and lifetime memberships? Are those going to be any additional lessons after the 365? It's interesting. A lot of students ask that question. So let me be extremely clear, right? Direct to camera, no funny business. There will be maybe a couple of bonus lessons for Jazz Piano Daily, but you should think of after the 365 lessons are done for Jazz Piano Daily, that's it, all right? There will really be nothing else added. Like I said, I might add a couple of bonus lessons here and there, but we're not talking about like big content, all right? And then we're talking about like, maybe an extra hour's worth of content, a couple of little bonus things sprinkled in there, all right? So Jazz Piano Daily, once 365 hits, then that's it, okay? So why, Willie? Why are you doing it? Well, before I tell you why, let's also talk about jazz piano lessons as well. That one, without question, there will be no new content added to jazzpianolessons.com. Not ever. Never, never, ever, ever, right? There will never be new content added to Jazz Piano Lessons. All the new content is at JAZZEDGE, right? So all new content goes on the JAZZEDGE site unless I decide to spin up some other site, right? But it's all at the JAZZEDGE website. So if you're looking for the new stuff, JAZZEDGE is constantly updated. All right, so why no new content for these two? Right? The reason is that once you're done with either Jazz Piano Daily or Jazz Piano Lessons, the next logical step is to move to JAZZEDGE, right? And so I give these very low price points on these memberships, okay? Because I assume once you get to the end of its useful lifespan for you, you will either decide, Willie's not for me, I'm going to go with somebody else. That's fine, I get it. Or you'll say, okay, I'm going to move maybe from Jazz Piano Daily to Jazz Piano Lessons, or I'm going to move right over to the JAZZEDGE sites, right? So JAZZEDGE is the site that has all of the new material, right? So if you're looking for the new stuff, that's it. By the way, also to remind you, some of you might also remember the name Piano with Willie, all right? So I stopped using the Piano with Willie name, and all of the Piano with Willie material is found on JAZZEDGE. Everything. Every single video, every piece of sheet music, everything that was on Piano with Willie is on JAZZEDGE. For some of you who have been with me for a while, you might remember my microsites. That was rock piano lessons, play blues piano, funk piano lessons, what else do we have? Jazz Gospel Piano, LatinPianoLessons.com, Music Theory Online, JazzPianoTheory.com. All of those websites, they're still there, but if you go to them, you'll get a message basically saying all of that material has been moved to JAZZEDGE, right? So really, the four main sites that I have right now is this: Jazz Piano Daily, Jazz Piano Lessons, Homeschool Piano, and JAZZEDGE. These two sites, the biggest differentiator between all four is that these two, Homeschool and JAZZEDGE, come with the coaching, right, as well as everything else that they come with. These two sites are the lowest price points, right? So if you're looking to come in and save money, or you want to reduce your membership and kind of save some money, these are the sites to go to, right? Packed with a lot of incredibly useful material, right? So, I mean, honestly, like this, the price point for Jazz Piano Lessons at $10 a month, when you see what's in there, I think it's worth 3 times that amount every single month. And if you don't agree, get in. After a month, you can cancel your membership. It's that simple. So that's hopefully that answered your question, Keith. And then and then also for Jazz Piano Daily, is it better to get a lifetime membership? So yes. Now a lifetime membership is going to give you access to everything that ends up going on Jazz Piano Daily. All right. On some of my other sites, the lifetime membership is a little bit different, like Summer Piano Jam and Jazz Christmas Music, because I add new material to those sites. So when I add new material, you can get a lifetime membership, and that gives you the membership up to that date. And then when I add new material, you can that's usually a low price add-on to be able to get access to the new material. So for Jazz Piano Daily, the lifetime membership is definitely worth it, right? Because then you have lifetime access to it. And now, what does lifetime mean? That means my lifetime, right? After I am gone, I have no idea what's going to happen. But I will be adding a download feature to Jazz Piano Daily as soon as all of the lessons are up there. So that means that you can get in at any time and download all the lessons, all the video files, and then you get to own them. You get to keep them on your own machine. Now, of course, in the meantime, you can download all the sheet music and resources. So that right there might just be enough for you. You might not need the video. But anyway, on both, on the Jazz Piano Daily site, you will be able to get in and we'll be able to download all that material once all the material is there, right? I'm not going to do that until next summer when all the material is done. Then I will give the download links so you can go ahead and download that. Let's see. Keith, so if I have JAZZEDGE, it isn't necessary to get Jazz Piano Daily. Well, first of all, if you have JAZZEDGE, do not buy the Jazz Piano Daily via the Black Friday Piano. You get a better rate. You can lock in for basically $6 a month, $5.99. Now, whether or not it's a good idea for you to get it, what I would do is I'd take a look at the lesson list. And in fact, I would take a look at the lesson list, and I would take a look at the 45-day free trial. That's like a no-brainer to me, right? Get in for 45 days. Doesn't cost you anything. You don't even, all you put in is a name and email address, not even any credit card information. And you could see the first 45 lessons. And then at that point, then you make the decision. Since you're a JAZZEDGE member, the Black Friday pricing doesn't really apply to you. And what I mean by that is, as a JAZZEDGE member, you're going to be able to get a great discount on Jazz Piano Daily, right? Now, I don't know if it's going to stay at $5.99 for JAZZEDGE members, but it is going to be a very discounted price. So you will never pay full price for Jazz Piano Daily if you're a JAZZEDGE member, right? Gustavo, hello. Is Standards by the Dozen going to have 12 more tunes next year, or are you going to do something else instead? I will be doing something else. We're going to have something different on the site. So next year is going to have Songs by the Dozen, and that's going to be branching off into other songs and styles. And I have more to say about that towards the end of December. I will be making some announcements and explaining what's going to be going on with that program and JAZZEDGE for next year. So stay tuned for that. But yes, we will be doing another By the Dozen, but it's not going to just be jazz stuff anymore. It's going to move into like some other styles, right? Destiny, question, can you do a little explanation on Bebop? To be honest with you, Destiny, I don't have the time right now to do that, and giving you a quick explanation on Bebop is not going to probably serve you well right now with my quick explanation. All right, I will tell you this, Bebop piano, all right? Definitely know your shells in the left hand, definitely know your rootless chords in the left hand, an absolute must. Bebop piano, a lot of chromaticism. Make sure you're practicing that chromatic scale, all right? Also, a lot of enclosures, right? So that's things like, you know, if I'm trying to get to like an E, all right, so now I could do so. Now you can hear already that bebop sound. All right, so you hear those enclosures. All of that is covered in my TCI program, the Confident Improviser, and it's also covered in some in Standards by the Dozen, but definitely at the JAZZEDGE site. All right, so if you're interested in learning bebop piano, just go ahead to the JAZZEDGE site. There is more than enough material there. If you're not interested in signing up for a membership, go to my YouTube channel, right? Go into my videos, do a search for the word bebop, or take a look at the Jazz Piano Daily videos. That would be good stuff for you to look at as well, all right? All right, so that's it. That's it for me, guys. So like I said, Wednesday I will be doing another live session. The time on Wednesday is going to be at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, December 1st, right? I will put it on my YouTube channel, so be sure to take a look at my YouTube channel. If you've subscribed to my YouTube channel, you should also get a notification on that. I will also send out an email to my entire email list. So if you're on my email list, then you'll get a notification on that. I will be, again, talking about the stuff on sale, be talking about the sites, answering any of your questions. So I look forward to seeing you Wednesday at 11 a.m. That's going to be 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And thank you all very much for joining me. And Drums with Willie, yes, if you go to drumswithwillie.com, you can still see that site, and it's also on my Udemy site as well. All right, so that's it, guys. I'll talk to you later. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you on Wednesday.